After retirement, most people slow down, but this man did the opposite. He built a poultry farm and turned it into a new source of income.
It's always good to start small. You learn. You understand? Maybe you want to start with 100, 200, but you also you must have space that you want to use. Start the training. You also still need your practical. You also need to be involved. You understand? And you should not be scared of losing.
Today, I'm taking you inside his poultry farm to see how he started and how the business works and what it really takes to run a broiler farm in Nigeria. If you have ever thought about farming after retirement or starting small, this video will open your eyes. Now I know you.
Yeah, I'm Tunde Akisonya.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a retiree farmer.
Retiree farmer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Broilers here.
Yes.
So why did you choose to do broilers instead of other birds?
Well, for stability, you need something that can quickly give you your returns. So like broilers now, by maybe 7 weeks, some 6 weeks, or if you want a bigger one that maybe you want to satisfy some customers, depending on what they want, get with maximum. You sell your best and you get your money. Yes, but when it comes to layers, still have despite the fact that the cost of layer is high now, you have to wait for 5 months. That's more than 5 months before you can break even. I mean, you can break even as for you to you matching your cost to your revenue. To be talking of your profit, so you need more time. But once you start producing the eggs, so at the end of the day, the return will start coming in, but you must have spent a lot of money. Yes. So like these ones now, they are just maybe 1,000 broilers, and you want to keep them for 6, 7, or 8 weeks to get your money back. You understand? For layers now, to run a 1,000 layers, at a point of lay, we're talking about 10 million.
Each one is how much?
Each one is 10,000 point of lay. So even by the time you get their point of lay, you still have to also feed them, because you say point of lay, they are not started laying. So you have to feed them to start laying, and you also have to continue to feed them before they start to pay for their feed. So it involves a lot of capital.
But some farmers still say they will still get their returns back.
Yeah, they will get their returns, but we are talking of initial cost, initial investment. So you understand? And initial investment is for you to, if you can wait, you have the money, you can wait. And also, both of them have their own challenges, but yeah, both are good. But it's because we want quick return. We still have facilities for layers, but we still go to that, but not now.
So your family, you're using them deep litter. Why
Yes.
did you choose deep litter instead of cage system?
Well, mostly for broilers here in Nigeria, we use litters. You understand? Even abroad, we see a lot of pen. I mean, big pens. They use litters. You understand? Probably maybe it's easier to manage, and it is cost effective. If you talk of the cage, to put these broilers in cages, you know how much the cost of the cage is. So the money you use to put, you still need a structure like this. You still need a structure to put the cage, and the cost of the cage itself is much. So instead of you, first of all, unless you have that money, or let people that has the money, they can decide to say, let me bring in the equipment, bring everything, they have the money. But for starters, you know, the little one you have, you want to build on it. Maybe later you can decide to say, okay, let me use this portion for cage. Definitely the cage system is more preferable because all the challenges of wet litters, you know, ammonia, coccidiosis and the rest, you may not experience them in the cage. Yeah.
So, what was your experience like when you started this farm business?
Well, I think a farm business is the interest. Farm business is the interest. So, you know, there's no way you not face challenges. It depends on your commitment. Sure, you understand. You know, there are so many. The money is there. It's a challenge, and even the birds. Sometimes you bring up birds. Like I remember when I started, even layers. There was time I brought about 2,000, you know, layers. You know, and they have I don't know whether it's Gumboro or thereabout. You know, and about 1,300 lost. Sure, you understand. So it's not long. I brought in another 1,000 again. Sure, you understand. So, and that 1,000 I brought again, I also lost some of them. But at the end of the day, they stabilized. So since then, since then I have not experienced then, not now. That's I'm talking of layer then because we were doing layers before. We were doing layers before. Before now. So it was because of the cost and the rest that we say let's start to do broiler so that we can at least have a quick returns.
Okay. Like, what are your challenges now as you're doing these broilers?
You need good management. So if you don't get good managers, employees, they are also challenged. Then you know this part of the country too, you know, the heat period is also a challenge because you know these broilers, even when they are still coming up, they are younger, they may like heat. As time goes on, when they are bigger, you know, even the heat they generate inside the air is much.
That's when they start growing feathers.
When they start growing feathers and they are even near to the market, you find out that the heat they generate is more than when they were still very younger. So, and the environmental heat too will contribute, and you now start to lose them. You know, it's not a controlled environment. If the controlled environment where there's AC, not even fan care. If there's heat, fan will be blowing heat now.
You know, there was a farm I went to.
Yes.
There was farming there.
If the fan if there's no heat. If there's heat, the fan will blow heat. Even in the house now, when the heat is high, when you put on the fan will blow heat. So, but you know, there's something that they also we also think about. You know, like they call it fogger. That is, you know, something that will be producing mist. She understand water, you know, like dews. She understand the hand. So if we have it somewhere in the cages now. We have it before. She understand, but now they can also have it. They can run it. So when it is hot, she understand, you can put on the fogger. She understand, it will be generating, you know, a mist, and the environment temperature will change. So all I know is that everything is expensive. It's not long we started this, and we're also learning day by day. She understand. So we also know what to do, what to give them, how do you control coccidiosis, how do you control this, at what time should you give them certain drugs so that you know. So they call for a good management. So these are the things. And also market. You know, sometimes you have your birds, they are already due, and there's no market, and you don't have a cold room. Even where we have cold room, there's no light to power the cold room. And sometimes the cold room, most of the cold room we have, there are 3 phases, and sometimes they bring 1 phase or 2 phase. If it's not up to 3 phases, the cold room will not work. So even if you have, and if you have a generator, like we will have generator, but how do you power the generator with 2,000 per liter of diesel? So and you want to run your diesel for 5-6 hours. You understand? So how do you make up? How do you make your profit? Because all those things they will take out. Yes. So these are the challenges that we have. Like if the light is stable now, we wouldn't have problem. So once we just identify those ones that the market needs, you understand, we just slaughter them and put them inside the freezer.
What is the amount that you tell someone who wants to start a poultry business like broilers to start with?
It is always good to start small. You learn. You understand? Maybe you want to start with 100, 200, but you also must have space that you want to use. So over time, you should give yourself some time. Start small, so that you know those equipment they need, those drug they need. How do you give them water? How do you manage them well? And also start to see how you can also be doing the marketing. Gradually, you'll be increasing.
Okay, that means for you to go into poultry farm, you need training.
After the training, you also still need your practical. You also need to be involved. You understand? And you should not be scared of losing. Because there's one thing in a poultry, you cannot afford mortality. You understand? We have issues. Some places, somebody brought in what's it called? Is it point of lay? Thousands of point of lay within short time. The birds are dying. So if you don't have money, then that's the end of it. You understand? So and if you want to do business, you also have to prepare well. You are not going to use your room to do the thing. You have to, where do I want to use? If you want to use your backyard, it cannot be in a residential place where you have challenges. You also have to identify where do I want to start. So if you identify where you want to start, how many, what did you want to start with? I want to do broilers. Okay, what are those equipment? I bought those equipment, identify where to use, and also have a vet to also guide. So you also need a vet doctor around you, so that they can also guide you to yes.
How important is agric to Nigeria as a whole?
Of course, now that one is not it's not something that you can dispute. Where in the world that we don't need agric? The only thing is that in Nigeria now is lip service we are doing with agric. Lip service, the government is not supporting enough. Even when people are ready, you understand, when people are ready, but the government, are they supporting them? Even when they bring some people to say, oh, let us support the farmers, at the end of the day, the assistance may not go to the real farmers. You understand? There must be a way that the government will identify with those that are even in the field. You understand? What's the capacity? Can we improve this capacity? Is there a way that like a kind of cooperative that when you get market, and when you get the product from the cluster, then you can sell. You understand? So the government must do everything possible to encourage farmers, into production and sales. Because if you encourage production and there's no way to dispose them off. You understand? Then they will not be encouraged to start to do it again. Yes.
So are you, as you are now, are you open for investments? Like if someone wants to
Sure.
come and invest?
If someone wants to invest, of course, I'm open to investment. Like what we have done so far, at least we have that. What is important is you have the facility, you have the experience, you know, and also you also have to match it with, you know, the market. You understand? If I want to bring in investors now, and then it's not just producing. I must also start with my marketing. Where do I want to sell them to? You understand what I'm saying now? If I have people that are ready to take those products, then, like I believe in Nigeria now, we don't need to be importing because we have enough, you know, enough facility to produce for the population. So the market is there, but also the foreign the importation of all these products also interfere with the local market, and they may not be getting as much as we need.
Okay, what about people who are in diaspora who want to come to Nigeria to invest? What would be your advice to them? Should they come to invest or what?
It's good for them to come and invest, but they cannot stay up there and be investing. You have to guide your investment. You understand? Unless you have, just like here now, unless you identify a company that is growing, you understand, and you have a discussion, you understand, and you want to put in so much, you understand, of money into the business, and you have understanding of, you know, proper management, you know, there will be, you know, what is going to be the returns, you know. The one thing I see with farming, most especially this livestock, you know, sometimes you have some challenges that are beyond your control. So in such case, an investor that you have made, you have a 20 million here, okay, maybe have yearly, I want to pay you certain amount of money, but you have those challenges, you know, that person will not, you know, it's out of your agreement. You understand what I'm saying? Unless it's part of the agreement, that is this something they call force majeure or something, like, you know, when things happen that is beyond. So those are the things that, but it's good to invest in agri. Of course, we all need food, we all need but there must be organized, you know, market for our products. Yes.
So generally now, you say broilers, are they profitable for anyone to do?
Yeah, it's profitable once you have your market, you have your management. It's profitable, no matter how. Yes.
It's nice meeting you.
Thank you.
As you have all seen, broiler farming can be a great way to generate income when it's properly managed. From feeding to growth, everything plays a role in the final result. So tell me, will you consider starting a poultry farm? Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real farm stories.